Hello, everybody. How are my friends today? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you all had a good weekend. Weekend's almost over. Bummer. Hey, Millie and Janice. I appreciate y'all. Miss Kathy. Sassy Southerner. Hello, hello. Mimi is 6. Thank y'all for being here. I figure we're not going to have too big of a crowd. A lot of people are watching the Vigil for Sebastian, and I didn't realize my time was during that time, so I kind of feel bad. But I thought I need to go ahead and just do this. I got some things to do to get ready for work tomorrow. And I do have a job interview. Y'all say prayers for me. It is a big position, so we'll see what happens. So I kind of need to get prepared for that as well. I'm too honest. Hello, hello. Welcome. Yay. Thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all mean the world to me. So, hey, One Love. Thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all. Tracy. Hey, Andy B. How are you doing? I hope everybody's good. Had a good weekend. I have been dog sitting all weekend, so I've had 3 dogs and me trying to clean house. It doesn't work out well. Just chilling, huh? Oh, I tell you, that's the best weekends to have, is when you just chill. Everybody needs that. But I am so thankful it is not raining in East Texas. Thank you, Jesus. Maybe we can dry up a little bit. You just got moved into your new house? Yay, Sassy. Congrats. Yay. You got your 2. I tell you, my daughter and our daughter-in-law, my son, they had to go out of town, and so I got there too, and it's awful different from having just you and your 1. So, and of course, it's so muddy outside. They'll go out the doggy door and they come in with muddy feet. And I swept and mopped twice, and I figured I'm just going to wait until they're all gone and I'll do it again. Not until all the dogs are gone. Yeah, Louisiana y'all got it just as much as we did. I tell you, Houston was like, oh, it was bad. And I'm only about 2 hours north of Houston, and it didn't quite get as bad, but we did get a lot. It was pretty scary. And that wind, it was just like when a hurricane hits down in Galveston area and comes up. It was pretty scary because all these pine trees around here. Ooh, they bend over pretty far. No power for 12 hours. Oh my gosh. I love Baton Rouge. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I'm kind of excited. It's for the executive director for junior achievement. So it's a program they have, and I don't know if it's the right fit for me, but I'm going to talk to them anyways. But I'm kind of excited. Oh, Mimi Jean, I'm so tired of rain. I mean, we went out of 2 weeks, 2 days with no rain. And now it's 90 degrees out today, and it is so humid. You just lose your breath when you walk out with all that moisture from the ground that just, the heat's just drawing it up, and it's like, ugh. Cornbread. Thank you for being here, sweetie. Wow. Well, I do appreciate y'all being here. I wanted to, last night I was in Smiley's chat. I don't know if y'all saw Smileys or if you've seen someone else that played it today, but that got kind of rough with the Sebastian case. And, Seth came in, he attacked Trevor. Trevor's done a lot of good for these kids. And, how do you attack Trevor? But he felt it. He felt a lot of feelings all at once. And it all came out. Trevor kind of got the brunt of it, I think. But we've been kind of talking about both cases, and I kind of wanted to do a comparison. And so I started looking into it all, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. So today we're going to talk about the comparison of the fathers. So we all know Summer Wells. She is just about 3 weeks shy of being gone for 3 years. Sebastian Rogers, he's 82 days gone. That's 2.5 months. These kids both are gone with no trace of anything, no evidence, no nothing. So, when I started kind of looking into this so I could see what I could really have to talk about, or if there was anything to even compare, I was really surprised. Now, lots of creators, even subs, y'all have all mentioned a lot of times how similar these two cases are. And I have to say, there's a lot that connects these two in similarity type of ways, because they're two children that just disappeared. There's no evidence of anything. And at the end of the day, the only true fact that we have on both of them is that they're gone. They're missing. And some of the other things that have come out along the way. Hey, Sharon, thanks for being here. But there's been things come out along the way with the Sebastian case that is so close to Summer's case, and it's crazy. So I started making a list, and I had names written down, and I started writing stuff down, and I'm like, okay, we got something to talk about. Now, we know Don Wells. That's Summer Wells' father. We know Chris Proudfoot. He is Sebastian's stepfather. And we know that Seth Rogers is Sebastian's father. So to start all these comparisons, I went back to day one. And in day one, we found that Don was seen at work about mid-morning that day. Now, Chris Proudfoot was seen at work 2 hours early. And he himself even said he got there about between 5 and 5:30. Hey, Titan. Hey, Lady 7-Up. So to be at a job 2 hours early, you either extra love your job or you got a reason. Nobody's going to go into work 2 hours early. I don't think any of us love our job enough to be there 2 hours early. And we're talking 5 o'clock in the morning. But Chris was there 2 hours early. Hey, Luminous. Now, Seth, on the other hand, he was seen at work all night, all that morning. Now, when the call came to these dads that these kids are missing, Don says he packed up all of his tools and he took off. Chris Proudfoot said he had things to get done and take care of before he could leave. Now, if his wife is panicking and so upset, I would just leave things. He said he had to lock up his trailer, but you would think that he would have already had it locked up. But it took him about over 4 hours before he left. And then he had a 3-hour drive home. And then Seth, we know, got the call from Chris, not Katie. But the stepdad calls and tells him, don't be upset, but Sebastian's missing. Well, Seth instantly takes off and goes straight to Katie and Chris's house, the house where Sebastian lived and the house where he went missing from. Now, there's searches that have happened in both cases. And we know that when they came up missing that day, Don said he went straight to the shed and he looked. He said he went straight down to Frank Light's house and banged on his door. Chris Proudfoot has yet to search that we know of. And then we have Seth, who started searching that very day. Hey, Smiley. And Seth has yet to stop searching. He has searched almost every day for over 80 days. Now, as far as YouTube goes, we know Don went to YouTube. He thought it would get the word out, he said. He really thought that, it would do good for finding his daughter. Chris Proudfoot did his first interview on YouTube. Seth, it took him a while to come on YouTube. And he came on to clear some things up, to make sure everybody knew some facts. Now, Don continued on YouTube, and it didn't matter if he was high as a kite or drunk as a skunk. We all pretty much saw Don walking to the bathroom to go to the bathroom on a live that he was so messed up on. We actually heard a belt. Sounded like it was being pulled pretty tight around possibly his arm. We heard tapping on his arm. We did not hear if a needle went in or not, but it got very silent afterwards. So you can only assume. But that's the YouTube presence that Don Wells showed. Now, Chris Proudfoot has continued on YouTube. He's gone on several panels. He's played with words, word salad, I guess you could call it. And he uses his words, and when you interpret them, he turns it back on you as if, no, let's get it clear. It's not what I said. Which, what he did really say could be taken several ways. But he uses that to his advantage. Now, Seth, we know, 2.5 months it's taken him to lose his cool. He's done nothing but talk about his son, tell the truth about his son, tell stories about his son, tell about his search, tell us what he's had planned, what has happened, what's going to happen. That's what we've heard from Seth. Dawn has told us that it's possible Summer could have been hit in the head with a hammer. Now, Chris tells us that it's very possible Sebastian will never be found. And Seth talks about his son in present tense, wants his stuff back in his room so that when his son comes home, all of his stuff is in place. Seth talks about the future plans he has with his son, the things he wants to do. And until someone tells Seth otherwise, his son in his mind is still alive. Now, you can't do any type of comparison without talking about travel. Dawn has been away from home several times. We know 2 weeks after Summer come up missing, just a couple weeks later, he takes off for Knoxville for a while. We all know what he does in Knoxville. He's also taken off and went to the Dr. Phil show in California. He's taken off and moved and got a job in Arkansas. What if Summer would have came home during some of those times? She would have came home to an empty house. That's what. We know that Chris, he's traveled to various bike shops. He has loaded up his camper and took it to another state where him and his wife are currently staying in Mississippi. What if Sebastian were to walk home? What if he was to walk up there, open the door, because he knows the code, and go in the house? There's no puppies. There's no mom. And there's no Mr. Chris. Now, Seth has stayed very close to the area where Sebastian went missing. He's gone home. He's gone back to work. But every single minute, he's back to the area. Now, both children have had vigils. There's actually one happening right now. And Dawn went to, I believe it was 2 vigils. And he felt led to speak. But Dawn's speech turned into how Satan is attacking his life, how bad his life has become. What about Summer's life? How bad is your daughter's life, Dawn? Well, Chris, we know, has attended none. He even got really pissed when he found out that they wanted to hold a vigil right outside of their house, you know, where Sebastian lived. But nope, wasn't going to happen. So they moved it. And it wasn't very far down the road. They could have walked. And they still did not attend. They're not attending today. There's been times where vigils have been held and they've been seen in bike shops looking at motorcycles. Of course, they said it was old pictures. So, did they plan this a long time ago and went ahead and had their Sebastians t-shirts made? Because if not, that does mean that it just happened. But yet, Seth has yet to miss a vigil. He's been at every single one. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to actually realize that one of these fathers is not like the others. And guys, I'm for real. I started putting all of this down on paper. And it hit me. There are those people who have followed the Summer Wells case, who has attacked Don Wells, who has talked trash about Don Wells. And yet, to this day, they support Chris Proudfoot. What is the difference? What is the difference? Now, I'm calling out Don and Chris. And I know it seems pretty harsh. And I know it seems like I'm making Seth look perfect. But guys, even after Seth lost his cool on Smiley's last night, I can't find anything I can put that's bad about the man on all of these situations that I've talked about. He has done exactly what a father of a missing child should be doing. He's been at the vigils. He's been out searching. He goes on YouTube and talks about his son. He talks about the future with him. Now, Don and Chris, I did nothing to say. I said nothing, did nothing to make them look bad. That is 100% all them. It's their words, their actions, and everything they have done on YouTube during a vigil, searching. It's all 100% them. I've done nothing to make them look bad. I've done nothing to make Seth look good. They've all three done it for themselves. Now, I do not agree with Seth last night when it came to Trevor. But I have to stop and think of the emotions that he is going through right now as a father who loves his son, as a father who does not know where his child is, as a father who does not have his son to look at, to see, to hold, to touch. You see, there's different stages of grief. And trust me, I've been through them all. The emotional grief and the shock that hits you at the very beginning is so overwhelming that I don't even think a parent could even explain it. There are no words to tell you how deep in your gut and ripping of your heart it is to lose a child. I couldn't imagine not knowing where your child is. That adds panic. Then you go into this place where it's not real. Surely this is not happening. How can this be happening? The why, the disbelief, the confusion. And then, guys, you get to a point of anger. I remember I had to stop going to the grocery store because when I lost my son, I was dealing with all of these emotions. And it wasn't until I went to the grocery store. Well, I live in a small town. You see people you know. Every time you go in, you better plan extra time because you're going to have a conversation with several people. And the first person that stopped me, gave me a hug, told me how sorry they were for me. I mean, what do you say to that? You know, I don't want you to be sorry. I want my son back. And I know it's not going to happen. Those are my emotions at that point. But when I heard the words, I know just how you feel. I lost my dad and I almost didn't make it through. Well, people, that's when my anger set in because no, I've lost my dad. I've lost my father, my mother, my sister. I've lost my father-in-law. I've lost my grandparents. And losing a child is nowhere close to losing other loved ones. So I feel Chris's anger because I had to quit going to that grocery store. I had to quit going anywhere in this town almost for a good while because I didn't want to get that angry. I didn't want to be mad at the people that I've known for years. But it's just a part of grief. I was so mad at that person because they did not get it. But it wasn't their fault. It's just they happened to be the person who said words that made me lash out. And I told them, no, you don't get it. It's nowhere close. Don't ever tell a mother of a child that's gone those words, ever. I had to go back not long ago and apologize to that person because I was acting out of anger. So I can understand Seth, his reaction. He's got people in all places telling me what to do, how to do it, how to go about it. And all the man wants is to find his son. And whether he finds him alive or not, it will be something. So I talked about it before on a live that I did where I said, you're not going to look for something that you know where it is. And Dawn and Chris are the ones not looking. Seth does not know where his child is. But it makes me wonder, does Dawn know where Summer is? Did Don have a part in that? He talked at a vigil talking about Summer, and he said that Satan had taken his child. Satan had taken his daughter. And then his next words were, the people that actually took her are of Satan. Does Don know who those people are? Was Don one of those people? Don said his words, he's been fighting the devil. Chris doesn't have a problem telling us how he treated Sebastian. Doesn't have a problem telling us that he whipped him with the belt because the child did not put on a belt. You know, not all kids wear belts. And if that kid did not put on a belt multiple times, does that mean he got whipped multiple times for not putting on a belt? We were told about how in video chats with his stepsister that they make fun of Sebastian, the way he dances or sings. They make fun of him. When she was there visiting, they would laugh at him, make fun of him. We know that there was an issue with him wetting the bed. You know, sometimes kids have issues with their kidneys. Sometimes there's an issue with the transmitter between their brain and the urge to go to the restroom. So you're going to punish a child for that. You're going to embarrass him at school for that. But yet when he goes to his father's house, he didn't have to use those pull-ups. Chris is not looking for Sebastian. So does that mean Chris knows what happened? He may not have been exactly part of it, but does he know? I still have the hard questions for Chris. And I dare him to come on because no one's asking questions like I want to ask. And it has every bit to do with Sebastian. Every bit. Because the words we hear Chris use, his cockiness, he's only calm and cool with people that coddle him, that believe in him. Instead of saying, hey, if you don't like me, that's fine. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to find Sebastian. But that don't happen. You see, Chris isn't going to say that because Chris has to run the show. It's Chris's way or it's no way. And the way Sebastian calls him Mr. Chris, not Daddy Chris or Papa Chris, Mr. Chris. Yes, sir, Mr. Chris. That tells us a lot. Now, Sebastian has a father that loves him. Sebastian has a father who is hurting. Sebastian has a father who is going every step of the way that he can, doing anything that he can, getting help from anybody that he can. He's pushing his body, he's pushing his mind, he's pushing his health. But each and every one of us, we wouldn't expect anything less, because that's what we would have done probably if it was us. And at the end of the day, I could have kept going with these comparisons. I could have kept going, and we could have had probably a 4 or 5 hour live on this, because there is so much. But these are the highlights of the comparisons between the fathers. And like I said, I'm not putting anything out there that's not already been shown to us. They are doing it to themselves. Each and every one of these dads are doing it to themselves. It makes you wonder, was there bad friends that drug debt was owed and Summer got gone? Was the court hearing coming up for Chris, for him to get his daughter that him and his family so desperately want, that they have tried for 7 years and has not got her yet? But this time Sebastian was supposed to testify, and Sebastian gets gone. Is it possible? Was it a plan? Were either one of these dads involved? We can only guess, because at this point, there's 2 children that are still missing, and that is 100% a truthful fact. We're all here because we care. We're all here because we have a heart and we love these kids and what they represent in this world. I mean, dadgum, y'all, look at Summer, what she's changed. The kids, the brothers, the awareness, the people that have been called out in her community that have just stayed under the radar. And Sebastian, oh my gosh, he's bringing out the fact that he has autism. There should be laws for children with special needs, and they should not be punished with a belt. They should not be punished even if it's with your hand, because they don't think like us. Their feel is even different. I couldn't imagine the feel that Sebastian had when a belt whacked his butt. But his stepfather, Mr. Chris, didn't seem to even think about that. Now, did his father discipline him? Oh, I imagine so. You can't let a child, whether they have special needs or not, get away with everything they do, because that's how children learn. So, no, I'm not making excuses for Seth. Seth's actions, Chris's actions, and Dawn's actions have told on themselves. And like I said, there's a whole lot more that I could have went into. But it is what it is, people. And I just don't understand how there's people here in the true crime community that believe 100% that Chris is a good man. Had nothing to do with Sebastian going missing. He may not have. He very well may not have had anything to do with Sebastian being gone. But he sure as hell ain't acting like he didn't. Or is he? Because if he did, you wouldn't search for something you didn't know was lost. Because you know where it is, right? Get those words right, Chris. But guys, pay attention to what's being said by these parents. Pay attention to their actions. You can analyze it all to death. It can drive you insane and make you go crazy trying to decipher their body language. Oh, they touched their ear. None of that counts. It's their actions, their words towards their child that's missing, that tells on them the most. Because none of us are professionals. We don't have degrees in psychological, whatever it is that you need to decide, oh, they touched their nose, they're lying. Look, they're moving their hands, they're telling the truth. We don't have to have that to know that maybe they're not sad that that child's gone. Maybe they're not worried with that child being gone. And if that's the case, then you must know something. And in both cases, those parents need to start talking. And I'm not talking bullshit. I'm talking the truth. Because you're the father. You're the man. Be a man. Stand up. And tell what you know. Don't be a scaredy cat and worry about somebody getting mad at you or wanting to hurt you or threatening you. Because I'm here to tell you, I'm a woman. And if my child was missing, I don't care who gave me a threat, I would not give a damn. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be here until I have the answers. And there ain't no one that would ever stop me. Because if somebody wants to threaten me and come at me with a gun, I got my own. You want to come at me with a knife? I got my own. You want to come at me with a baseball bat? I got one ready for you. Bring it. Because you see, I'm not going to sit there and just go to a couple places and look for my child. I'm not going to just sit there and go motorcycle shopping. I'm going to be like Seth. I'm going to be there every day that I possibly can, because that's a parent who really cares. That's a parent who doesn't know where their child is. So, Chris, Dawn, be a man. Stand up. Tell the truth. Tell what you know. And guys, let's find these babies. Because if they are part of it, I would be happy to be there to watch them get locked up. And if they're not a part of it, I will apologize. But I'll also give them a little advice. If you're not guilty, then stop acting it. So, guys, that's what I have. That is my anger. That is where I'm at. I can't understand, after I sat down and put it all on paper, how is it that people are defending Chris? How is it possible? How is it possible? Him and his wife, Sebastian's mother, have not gone to search for this child. They might put out some flyers. Well, that's great. Kudos to you. But where is he? Don and Candace have been pretty quiet lately. I just pray they're getting their lives together and they've stopped the drinking, stopped the drugs, because they both needed it. They needed to do that. And all of these parents, if any of them were involved, I do feel sorry for them, because that's something they will live with for the rest of their life. Kimmy K, I agree. What mother would not go? You birthed that child from your body, and you're going to go motorcycle shopping while people pray for him and pray that he is found. Tell me how that makes sense, because it does not. Judgment Day. That's it, Titan. Judgment Day will come. It will come. And guys, just know that we're here on our computers. We're here in chats. We're here just talking and reminiscing through everything that's done and been said and all that. But we're not the parent of a missing child. And we do need to show some grace, because we don't know exactly what that's like. But when it's very obvious to even those of us who don't know what that's like, that your actions are saying that you're not worried about finding him or her. You're not worried about where she is or him. Your actions say you know more than you've said. Then you're dishing that out. You ought to be able to take this because we may not know exactly, but we see your actions. We hear your words. And those parents are not helping themselves. So, yeah, we're going to call it out. We're going to call it just how we see it. And that's your fault. That's your fault, Dawn and Candace. That's your fault, Katie and Chris. Your actions told us something whole different than just you being the grieving parents. Yes, Kathy, actions speak louder than words. Exactly, Sassy. Brenda, no one looks for something they know where it's at. Exactly. I've said it 100 times. I'll keep saying it. You're not going to waste your time. Why would you waste your time walking through the woods, getting scratched up, heat, dirty? No need. Because you know enough to know it's not worth it. They're not there. So where are they? Oh, guys, it's so frustrating. Liz, you're exactly right. Kids don't vanish. It's it's impossible for these children to vanish. Impossible. Once they're sent from their house in their area there is gone, they're gone. Poof. Beam me up, Scotty. Oh goodness, me and Jean, I heard that. That was planned. Kimmy, you think it's all been planned? You know, there's so much of it that I get so frustrated, and I don't know if I'm going to believe it's a plan over here that's been in action or if it's, oh gosh, this just happened kind of thing. So I don't know. Is Don not working? I had last I heard he was working. And I hope and pray that Don and Candace are doing well. I really do. Because anybody that's had the issues they've had, and I've told y'all before all my lives, talking about when I lost my son, I made myself stay away from alcohol because I knew if I had just a little bit, and that was my first thought, give me something to drink, give me some hard liquor. I need to not feel this right now. And they gave it to me. And with it in my hand, I knew if I took that drink, I would never put it down. And if you stop and think about it, Dawn and Candace had that issue before Summer come up missing. So it was their go-to. And, that's what they knew. Maybe Jean. You're so funny. But yeah. Everybody, thank y'all for being here. I wasn't really paying attention to chat. I was kind of zoned in. But I do thank you. Was it Liz that gave a super chat or something? Yeah, thank you, Liz, so much. Thank you. Oh, it's okay, Liz. It really is. I mean, I'm so much better than where I was. So much better. But I do see the anger that Seth was trying to decipher through. I've been there. Thank you, cornbread. But isn't it terrible how everyone is turning on Seth? They are. They are. And you know, everybody has a right to their opinions. But if everybody stopped and really thought it through, and guys, I had all this ready to go before he come up on Smiley's. I had that already done. And then I kind of had to think about it. But I mean, his actions have to date proven that he's there for his son, even his actions on Smiley's, because we saw the man tear up. He hurts for his child. And I know that feeling way too well. You know, I even said one time I heard Candace in the background crying for Summer. And it was a cry I recognized because I had heard that cry out of my own self. Now, I don't know that she's guilty or not guilty, but I do know that she cried for her daughter. I've heard that cry from myself. And trust me, there was times where my eyes were almost swelled shut from crying. They go into someone else's arms that either knows them. Yeah, Deborah, it's crazy. Yes, Kimmy K, you could hear her. Oh my gosh. It hurt my heart. And that was a very confusing time for me because I also thought possibly she had something to do with it. A lot, maybe, to do with Summer not being there. And so to hear that, it's kind of where I got to the point where I realized I feel sorry for a parent, even if they unalive their child. Even if it was not on purpose or it was on purpose, I feel sorry for those because that's a memory they will have for the rest of their lives. And I could not imagine that. Yeah, Liz. Regret. Amy Jean. They have to live with it. And I don't know if y'all remember. Thank you, Kathy. I don't know if y'all remember the Chad David Adorable or what, however you pronounced his last name, but he was the one that shot and killed his three sons about a year ago. I showed it and did a live about it because I saw him in court. He was standing there and you could see the veins popping out in his neck, and they had him all, you know, shackled up and everything, standing there for his arraignment. But oh my gosh, when the judge started talking about everything with these children, and him murdering them, you could see him trying to fight back. Yeah, Dorman or Doman or something like that. Yeah. But you could see him trying to fight back tears. His eyes were all red. You could tell he had just been miserable. And he was to the point of breaking down crying. A tear rolled down his face. And I was like, God, he has to live with this. And then I saw him do something like this, and it was a blank stare. And it was scary. It was almost as if Satan took over his body. And he just stared at the judge. Blank. No emotions, no nothing. I think that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I wondered, Kimmy K. I really did. And Kimmy K, let me tell you, my little baby great niece, her is about 4.5, 5 months old. And her name is Kimmy K. Kimee and Kay. So, but anyways, guys, y'all are so sweet for being here. I do appreciate it. Yeah, her name's Kimmy K. Little Kimmy K. I wish she lived closer. I'd be hugging and kissing on that baby all the time. She's so sweet. Yeah, Satan is real, Liz. Those poor babies. And the two were just outside playing in the front yard, just living their life, having fun. Oh, Millie, I appreciate you so much. I really do. Millie is wonderful. She is a super friend. And guys, I am now on Facebook with Lolly Beautifully Broken. If y'all would like to follow me there. Oh, thanks, DRV. But y'all can catch me there. And if y'all ever want to send me anything, you just send me a message there. And I will be glad to chat with you. Let's see, Sammy. Oh, hey, Sammy. Ask Lolly, did you get to see the very long conversation with Chris that took place last night? Yes, I did. Yes. Matter of fact, I was going to play some of it today, but it was a channel that I'm not real. I don't know. I just don't listen to it. And I didn't want to get struck or anything, but y'all can go over to Cluminati and listen to Chris. He comes up on their panel, and I said it earlier, he is very nice, has a good conversation with people who stroke his ego. So that's how that went. And I just don't get it. Has anybody in chat heard about what Big Eyes is doing? I haven't. Love your cornbread. No, I haven't heard, Liz. Yeah, he was mellow and nice. But I mean, they also told him what a great man he is. And they told him, how much they just love him and Katie. And, I don't hate them. I don't hate them. I don't understand them. And anybody in my book that goes to a motorcycle shop instead of being at a vigil to pray and ask God for guidance to show them where my child is at. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. Not going to be okay with that. No. But, hey, you're not going to go looking for something, where it is. I should have a shirt made. I'm not looking because I know where it's at. Oh, and guys, I'm so excited. We're getting my merch shop ready to go. And I got some really cute shirts and a coffee mug they're working on. It shouldn't be too much longer. So I'm really excited. So, yeah, Mimi Jean, anyone that can hurt a child or animals, I don't like. You're right. Well, except for frogs. Ugh. I do my best to run over them. I don't like them. And if it's one less in the world, I'm happy. I have a fear of frogs, y'all. Serious fear. And my kids know it, and my grandkids know it. And they chase me around with frogs in their hand. Ugh. No, Millie, I don't. I don't love frogs. I am terrified of frogs. I was about 4 years old. I can remember seeing them. It was a dream I had, but it was red frogs that were in my bed. And ever since then, Mom said I used to play with them all the time because we lived out in the country and there was frogs everywhere. But after that dream, I am terrified. They're of the devil. They don't even walk; they hop. But so that's my fear. So, anyways, oh, guys, y'all are amazing. I'm so happy y'all are my friends. Oh, good golly. I don't know how anybody can confuse Jody Sue with anybody else because she is in a category all her own. Oh my gosh. All her own. Yeah, Ziggy was laughing, and I was in their chat one day and she was talking about heads up, 7 up. It's a game you used to play. And sorry. And yeah, sent a whole message asking what is that code for? Yes, Liz, I have 4 grandbabies. I have 4 grandbabies. My oldest is 10 years old and the youngest 2 are 6. They keep me busy. There's a guy in a red shirt and he reminds Steven Stearns. I can't find that picture. Deborah, I know what you're talking about. I think I have that picture. I'll have to look into that. I will definitely check it out. I have a whole folder full. But yeah, I got my grandbabies. My oldest son had 2 girls. My daughter had a boy and a girl, or a girl and then a boy. 9 grandkids. Oh, I keep begging my kids to have more. Of course, their youngest is, both of them are 6. They're not having no more. And my son that passed, he didn't have any kids. I sure wish there was a little one of him around somewhere. But there's not. So it's all good. Anyways, you got 5 kids, Mimi. He was 27, Kimmy. He was 27. Still trying to figure out his life. And y'all, a good friend of my son's that passed, a good friend of my daughter's, because they're only 13 months apart. But they went to all of them were in school together. And Shay is a good friend of theirs. My daughter's go-to person was Shay. She loved him. He loved her. He treated her great. My son and Shay got along amazingly. And Shay loved my son-in-law. But he is, I think, 32, 31, 32, and just got transferred to Houston. He came from Arizona to Texas, and in Arizona it's dry. Texas, all this humidity now, especially with all the rain we've had. And he thought he was just sick because of that and just coming down from the altitude and all that. But guys, y'all say a prayer for him because he has no red blood count. He has no white blood count. And they are 99% sure that he has leukemia. And the nurse told him that a unalive person has more of an immune system than he does. So when I got the call yesterday about that, I ran to the hospital, got to spend time with him before he left to go to Houston. Just love him to death. He's like one of my kids. So if y'all would pray for him, because that's a rough journey. Him and his wife just are in the process of getting divorced. His daughter's still in Arizona, and life took a pretty big turn for him. So thank y'all so much. Thank y'all, because he means the world to me. I told him he better do everything that doctor tells him to. I can't go through that again. So he said, "Of course, Mama. I got this." So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to let y'all go. I appreciate y'all being here. And have a little mercy on all of the parents. Thanks, Titan. But all of the parents, even though their actions show a whole lot. Yes, I was. We had hurricane forced winds, DRB, but we were good. But just a little mercy on the parents. We don't know how they're feeling, what they're going through. We don't know the whole truth. So thank y'all all so much for being here. It is Lolly, Beautifully Broken. And there's a little between Lolly and Beautifully Broken. But I just got it up and going, and y'all can reach me there, send me messages there easily. And then I also on my community page have my email there as well. So I love you guys so much. I thank y'all so much for always being here. Thanks for listening to me yak and talk. And as always, keep these babies' names out there. Keep praying for them, because somebody knows something. So, love and hugs. Bye, everybody.